abandon that. But if you say it is duty, then it is different, because if you're called to do a duty, there's no question as to whether you need to, whether to consider, you have to do it. Exactly. So has it come to the level of a duty from the responsibility? Because if it is duty, there is more pressure on the businesses, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's right. But some of the businesses have started realizing this, that by basically fulfilling that duty, they actually can become more profitable also. So yeah, it starts with the duty, but then again, as we said, responsible business or the corporate citizenship is more of a doing something more and thinking out of the box, finding new ways of doing implementing the responsible business element in a cost-effective way. And of course, they should not get away with these basic things. There are some very basic things every business has to basically apply to and do. Otherwise, yes, we can't call them a responsible business, and then there will be later on at some point in time they will face a lot of risk based on that. And
so
again,
when you said there were some basic things that the businesses have to do, what were you referring to specifically?
Basically, again, okay, let me share you with a model which we use, which is called a responsible business framework. RBI came up with this model many years ago, I think in 1999, when we was developing RBI, responsible business initiative, our organization. We think that the whole responsible business stands on 6 pillars, and each pillar is very important for the things. It's not that you do one basically implement one pillar and doesn't care about the other pillar. So it starts with your governance and management, how you manage your company, how you govern it, and again, a lot of is your management aware of all the issues, and is your management communicating with your stakeholders properly, and they feedback, listen to whatever new things are coming up, and the issues in there.
So that is governance and management.
That's governance and management. Then the other thing is values and principles. So that of course handles what kind of a value an organization is, because there are sometimes a lot of value statements and mission vision statements hanging on the wall, but a lot of people and the employees even don't understand what that means. They have to live those values and principles, and of course that also covers your everyday ethical dilemmas. It also talks about corruption and how you deal with your contractor, how you deal with your subcontractors, how do you pay your taxes and all that. So this is again very important for a business, and again it's in their favor at the end of the day. It's not something they have doing, it's like one of the investment they are doing. And the third, of course, is the compliance and disclosure. Compliance includes the social and environmental compliances, like complying to some of the international standards, maybe ISO 8000 or ISO 14000, or then again some like following some of the frameworks like GRI. And then also disclosure means that talking about not only good things about your business, but also talk about if you have done something wrong in the past, how you are improving it, and then you basically communicate openly with your stakeholders, your consumer, your producers, everybody, so they understand you. They are not going against you. They can then come and help you in improving a lot of things. They can partner with you. And the fourth element, very important element, of course, is stakeholder involvement. Not only engagement, but in stakeholder involvement. That's how is there a process of communicating with different stakeholders? Do you know who your important stakeholders are, who can influence your business? Again, every business, every different kind of a business has different stakeholders at a different level. So people have to understand who their real stakeholders and how to deal with what they should be doing with, what are the things they can do together, what are the things. Sometimes you have to also bring your stakeholder to the level of responsibility. So it's a whole I keep go in detail. There is a whole process. We have developed even indicators and guidelines for that. And of course, another very important thing is consumer and product focus. Again, as we talk about sustainable consumption and production, it's also important to look at your product. The product you are producing, is it harming the society in a way? It is harming the environment in a way. So maybe you can think about it, how you can cut down on the harms in your product, the material you use, and afterwards, when the people use that product, what effect it create after is it recyclable or not, and the production process, there is any exploitation of people, environment, and whatever during the process you are producing that. So this is again very important to look at these things, and if you're really harmful, you're producing really harmful product, you can even diversify.
So this is the fifth pillar, right?
Fifth pillar, and the last, of course, is most important for a business.
Right. So we will take a small break, and we will continue the rest after this short break.
Thank you.
On the gate, yes, it's gone. Boo, boo, da, 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 da. Give me one with a new string.
Hey, hey, stupid Cupid, stop hating on me.
Ain't no singing green sounds with tequila. Don't really know it's settled.
Welcome back. You're watching iBond Sri Lanka, and we are with Mrs. Ambreen Wahid. She's the Executive Director of the Responsible Business Initiative of Pakistan, and she's also the chair of the South Asia Forum for Responsible Businesses. So she just elaborated on the basic main 6 principles, 6 pillars to be a socially responsible business, and according to her, it was governance and management, ethics and values, compliance and disclosure, and also products and consumption. And yes, you can continue to the 6th pillar. And stakeholder involvement, very important, and the 6th
because
one,
at
yes,
all levels, stakeholders, all kind of stakeholders are very important for that. But the most important pillar again is, of course, the foundation of a business. Also, one is the governance, but financial viability. The business is for profit, and we agree with that. Business has to earn profit. Otherwise, if they're not earning profits, they can't take care of their workers in the society and whatever is expected from them. So the first agenda is to make profit, but again, the way they have to make profit is they have to see how they can implement all these different pillars in a very cost-effective way. And there are, of course, different methods, different methodologies, and the ways of doing things. And that's where actually we help companies to understand how it's important, why things are important, and how you can actually implement this, make everybody understand and do these things. And of course, connecting that to the financial viability, I can say there are SRIs, the socially responsible investors. So again, if you are a responsible company, these socially responsible investors are have now in their criteria of funding or investment, they have added social agendas and environmental consciousness for a company, and almost all these pillars somehow they look at for their managing the risk for their investments. So it's also a good way of attracting your funding and investment from these
so that is,
investors.
you're saying, the socially responsible investors look at socially responsible business organizations to invest as well.
Yeah.
So it will in turn have an impact on the financial viability of the company.
Because they will get those funding easily.
Right.
And more, I think that now the SRI funding has gone into trillions of rupees all over the world.
Right.
And it's increasing, and the focus is again more on the emerging markets also, because people want, these SRIs want the business to improve their conditions, and also help the poor improve the basically the poverty elevation is also linked with that.
So that is, I think, a key indicator to a country like Sri Lanka, because if they're socially responsible, that there's massive budgets for socially responsible investments, and they would look at investing in Sri Lanka if the businesses as units become more socially responsible. So on those lines, Ms. Wahid, like, you've been coming to Sri Lanka, so how have you seen the Sri Lankan business sector facing this challenge, so to say? How have